Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my top 10 most valuable games on the PlayStation 2 from the PAL region out of the 486 games that I own. If you do enjoy this video, check out my top 10, bottom 10 and unique games for the PS4, 3, 2, 1 and Vita. My 10th most valuable PlayStation 2 game is Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call, or known as Nocturne in the US, coming in at 48 Australian dollars, 32 US dollars and 24 British pounds. I actually found this game at an op shop. It was $20, a little bit pricey for an op shop, and they had lots of other games, but they were mainly NTSC games. There was a lot of JRPGs in there, so couldn't play them on the hardware that I own, so I stuck to this, Lucifer's Call. It says, behind the conception, a demon is born twice. Set in post-apocalyptic Tokyo, the entire population of the world is annihilated by a global catastrophe called the Conception. Now the fate of the entire world lies on the shoulders of one young man who must battle his way through opposing demonic forces to bring order to the world to come, or possibly become the harbinger of its destruction. So pretty cool game. I only played this a little bit, this PS2 version, so I can actually find my receipt here as well. There's the book. So I have found the original receipt, and I'll show you a couple of things. It was originally $39.95, so from Ultimate Games. That store definitely does not exist anymore, and it's actually printed the customer's name on the receipt, which is pretty bad. So I'm not gonna show you the poor person's name who bought this game, but it was purchased on the 17th of May 2006 for $40 from Ultimate Games, and then I picked it up from an op shop for $20. So you know, pretty good for me, I suppose. Nice big manual is what I loved about the PS2 era. I'll try and show you as much of the manual. I used to get a big prologue, and this did get a PS4 remaster as well, which I will show you. And I mainly played the remaster mostly until you got to the ridiculous Matador, and I know you need to debuff the Matador and get through, but I think my eyes were on a different game at that time. So I got about to the section where that stupid Matador just kills you unless you debuff it and put lots of status effects on. Now it's a big book, so I'm going to have to go quick, otherwise this video will go forever. But I did like in the PS2 era for JRPGs, you got a nice detailed booklet. So Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call, and if you did get the PS4 version, even here in Australia, it was renamed as Nocturne as well, a HD remaster. You can't really see that there. And yeah, pretty similar cover, but it is my 10th most valuable game. Number 9 is an absolute cult classic, Psychonauts, coming in at 51 Australian dollars, 34 US dollars, and 24 pounds 50 pence. Now this game has definitely seen a surge in value recently, because I remember seeing this game quite a lot, and I think I picked up my copy here for about $5 if my receipt's in here. But there's my Psychonauts disc, and I'll just try and find my receipt. Is a little bit faded, but if you can pick it up, $5. It was all the way back in 2012, so the price has obviously increased a little bit since then. Let's have a little look at the back cover, and then we'll go through the booklet. So we've got a psychic odyssey through the minds of misfits, monsters, and madmen. Is everything right in your head? Raz, a young psychic cadet, discovers that someone is stealing brains using clairvoyance, astral projection, telekinesis, and levitation. Help Raz foil this evil plot by entering their minds and smacking around a whole bunch of personal demons from Grim Fandango and Day of the Tentacle. And wow, this is a big 36-page booklet again, so I'll try and be as quick as I can. Maybe you can pause it if you want to check out the booklet, as you're seeing some footage as well. We still have 8 games to go, so quite a lot. Nice stylish booklet as well. Let me know if you've played Psychonauts. I know there's a Psychonauts game on the PSVR. I haven't quite played that one. And there was a Psychonauts 2, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Unless my head is blurring together. Was there a sequel that was released recently? Or am I just thinking of the VR game? Alright, we are done. There is Psychonauts. Number 8 of my most valuable PS2 games is Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier, coming in at 52 Australian dollars, 35 US dollars and 25 British pounds. A massive series on PS2, Jak and Daxter. I'm just going to show you quickly the other Jak and Daxter games that I've got. So we've got the Precursor Legacy, we've got Jak 2, Renegade, we've got Jak 3, and Jak X as well. But I'm focusing on Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier, as that is the most valuable game of the lot here. Another franchise that seems to be going up in value, hoping that there's some remasters as well. They seem to be appearing on the PS5, some more PS2 games, but it's not quite the same. But they're back, but on the brink of disaster. Jak and Daxter are reunited at last in a brand new action-packed mission. Get ready for a gripping adventure filled with cutthroat pirates, places to explore, epic sky battles, explosive weapons, and mysterious powers. Only our heroes can save their planet from a premature demise, but they're going to need your help. I probably should read it a bit closer than trying to read that from far away. I never really played these Jak and Daxter games at the time. I was kind of into some other games, and they kind of felt like they were a little bit more for kids at the time. So the story so far, you can pause and read that if you want, but you do get to check out the booklet. It's a good $50 to get this game at the moment, unless this is one of the games that's being remade on PS5. I can't remember. I think there is a Jak and Daxter game, but I think it might be the Precursor Legacy that's on PS5. But you can correct me down in the comments. But if you like classic PS2 platforming, the Jak and Daxter series is for you. My 7th most valuable PlayStation 2 game is Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. We have just hit a triple threat of absolute classic PlayStation 2 games and back-to-back platforming series. So Ratchet & Clank is currently valued at 54 Australian dollars, 36 United States dollars, US dollars, and 27 British pounds. Part of the Ratchet & Clank series. I have a couple here that are platinum. So I do have Locked and Loaded here, and Ratchet & Clank, well, that's 2. Ratchet & Clank 2 Locked and Loaded, and Ratchet & Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal. Terrific name. But the one I'm focusing on is Size Matters. Again, not a series I played at the time because I probably thought they were for the slightly younger audience, but tiny enemies, big trouble, wield massive weapons, discover new worlds, and shrink-ray yourself down to size to explore the mysterious Technomite universe, and even journey through Clank's robo-head. Clank returns as a playable character, challenge a friend to explosive multiplayer action. And it feels like we're re-entering this platform era with Astro Bot. If you've played Astro Bot, let me know. I did a little bit of streaming of Astro Bot a few days ago, a little while ago now, so you can check that out. Haven't done a big playthrough because everyone's going to do it, but we've got our classic PS2 era games here, kind of where it all began. Definitely a lot of collectathons. Not as long a booklet as we used to in other games, quite a short booklet. But if you enjoyed, do you have a favourite PS2 platformer? Definitely let me know. Were you a Ratchet & Clank person? Were you a Jak and Daxter person? Were you a Psychonauts person? Were you into a different type of platformer? Let me know. Now my 6th most valuable PlayStation 2 game is Guitaru Man, which comes in at 57 Australian dollars, 38 US dollars, and 28 pounds 50 pence. Now 100% I would have included this game on my unique PS2 games list, but it is here in the top list because it's quite a valuable game. Now I did manage to snag this for just $3, but that was all the way back in 2012, back when game collecting was a little bit more fun than it is now, and games were just very, very cheap and allowed me to accumulate my collection without having to spend an arm and an absolute leg on some of the games that you have to now. Or if you want Guitar Man now and it's $57, that's quite a lot of money. Kind of in the vein of Parappa the Rapper, Unjam-a-Lammy, Vid Ribbon, kind of a rhythm game just kind of before the Guitar Hero craze. So it's a bit like playing Guitar Hero, but just on the screen with your controller. So music teams the Savage Beast, an entirely new type of music entertainment. A bit like Buster Groove meets Guitar Hero, if you've ever played those games. So, we've got an amazing cover. I mean, this cover is just 5 stars out of 5. I think I've got my original receipt in here too, so I can show you what I got. There's the Guitar Man disc, or what have we got here? So you used to get these little cards. I don't know if you remember, but if you bought it, you'd fill in like this little like questionnaire. Your opinion matters. Like, I don't know if you got anything, and then you'd post it back to England. So I don't know if anyone bothered doing that from Australia, because you'd have to send this feedback form. Obviously, before there was online forms, they used to give you these little cards, which is just so weird. This is a big book. Maybe it's in multiple languages. It's in, French in the second half. So that used to happen a lot in PS1 games, is you used to get the thickest manual, but it was in like English, French, German. It'd be in like 5 languages. So we've got, I thought the book had yellowed, but I think that is the design. Guitar Man controls. So there's the prologue. I like you get a bit of a story. I think there's around 10 levels. I've played, I would say probably about half. It's not the longest game, but it does, from what I remember, it gets quite hard, but maybe it doesn't. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played Guitar Man. Again, this game would be awesome getting a little re-release onto the PS5, because I think this game is still just locked here on the PS2. Some of your other characters, Zowie, and I think some of these feature in Astrobot as well, so I definitely have seen Guitar Man in Astrobot. And I'm sorry, French audience, you make up a very, very small part of my audience, less than 1%, so I'm just going to flip through quick on the French side. We've got some other games. Did you have any of these? I was supposed to get Kessen when the PS2 released, but they were sold out. So when I first bought a PS2, I actually didn't even get a game with it. I just had to hire games until I got Gran Turismo 3 like a week later, or 2 weeks later. Alright, oh, my receipt. I haven't gone through my receipt. Alright, so as you can see, this was the date of purchase. I don't know if you can pick it up there. 31st of October 2012. I picked up a, what's this here? Oh, the gold Wii controller. Like for the classic games, $5. This is Guitar Man, $3. And what's this here? Oh, this is when I got my Play TV, because I wanted to record cricket onto my PlayStation hard drive so I wasn't missing cricket. This is pre-streaming days, folks, when you could just watch anything anytime. So I had to record the cricket to my PlayStation hard drive so I could watch it later. Those were the days. My 5th most expensive PlayStation 2 game is Hoppy, coming in at $66 Australian, $44 US, 33 British pounds, made by the very notorious Phoenix Studios. Now, this is technically the only good game that Phoenix Studios ever released. Most of the rest is absolutely horrible shovelware. I've managed to snag as many of them as I could. I've got about 40, 45 of them, but there are some games that had such a small print run. I think one called maybe Monster Eggs, that's over $1,000. I'm definitely never buying any of those ridiculously expensive games for that much money. But I've snagged as many Phoenix games as I could if they were under, $10, and a lot of them were under $5. So I don't know why I tried to go on a Phoenix collecting route. I was going to upload some of those videos, but I never did. But anyway, I found this copy of Hoppy online. I think it was about $15 or $20 delivered. So I snagged a pretty good deal. I don't think it comes with the book, but I still managed to pick it up. And it's one of the harder games to find. So as you can see, very low budget. A lot of their games are just palette swaps of other games. So there's like Deadeye Gym, and that's just a palette swap of another game. And World Wrestling Championship is just like KO Kickboxing, but just with a different name. So they just threw so many horrible games out there to make money. They're kind of around in the PS1 era, known as Midas, I believe. So yeah, I just got the Hoppy disc, so I don't have the booklet, but again, it was a lot cheaper than normal. But maybe there might be another Phoenix game on this list. Who knows? I do have about 45 of them. My fourth most expensive, actually scrap that. This is a bit of a bonus entry. It was supposed to be the fourth, but I actually have a 2-for-1 bonus entry that I'm not going to count towards my top 10. So you actually get 11 entries and 12 games, because this is a little bonus, and it is Street Cricket Champions and Street Cricket Champions 2. Now I've actually uploaded this on the channel. The reason why I'm not including this is because my copy of Street Cricket Champions 2 sadly doesn't actually work. I was pretty annoyed. These games cost me a fair bit of money. I think maybe about $70 for both from memory, but I can't remember. But if they're both in working condition, they're worth about $156 combined. So they're about $80 each, 104 US dollars, and about 80 British pounds. It's released by Trine Studios. What's interesting about these games is it's an Indian developer that made these games. They made Ra 1, and they made about 2 or 3 other games that actually go for quite a lot of money. Unfortunately, the games are pretty bad. There's actually Move Street Cricket Champions and Move Street Cricket Champions 2 on the PS3, but they're both pretty expensive games at over $50 each as well. Maybe more, I haven't looked for a little bit. So you literally play backyard cricket. Like, it's fun, but is it, you know, $30, $40, $50, $80 fun? Absolutely not. I've got a full playthrough on my channel as well, so if I can link it up top. I played this first one in full, and an interesting story is that Radical Reggie actually stole some of my Street Cricket Champions footage, spliced it in one of his pickup videos saying he played the game while my commentary's in the background, and then I flagged it up that honestly, if he'd have just asked me for the footage, I would have just said, yeah, sure, no worries, and just give me a little tag. But he just like took it without permission, said he played it, and then when I raised it, he just deleted that part of that video. So, you know, good old Street Cricket Champions lived in infamy for a little bit, as yeah, Radical Reggie did you know, take a little snippet there, but that's okay. I'll let bygones be bygones and just enjoy my own video. So that was a special little bonus. There's Street Cricket Champions 1, so you can see Kolkata, Delhi, and Darbar. And then Street Cricket 2, grab a bat and ball, anything goes. You fly over, trawl, and you can play in the society as well. So special bonus. My fourth most valuable PS2 game, I'm going to take with a pinch of salt, but it is Armored Core Nexus, mainly because it's not in very good condition at all. But if it was in good condition, it would be worth $100, 66 US dollars, and 50 British pounds. You can see it was discounted down to, well, $29.91, and then another $10 off. So maybe it didn't sell very well. I don't think it has the book. But these kind of mech games are very, very popular in Japan. And I believe like Armored Core 6 just came out as well on the PS5. So some people have been into that. We've just got the disc, but we don't have the book. So yeah, I would doubt it would be worth the full $100. But it's hard to be subjective in a list like this and tweak it around and how much is it actually worth. So it's not a game you see very often, so I did want to still include it in the list. And you know what? The disc is there, and it does work. So even though I probably could just replace this cover, but As you can see, it's definitely an import copy because they have to sticker over the European labeling if you don't get a copy. So I'll just show you Street Cricket Champion. So this was, even though it's an Indian developer, it's got the kind of UK rating system on there, and you get all these weird stickers over the top. This almost looks like a DVD sticker, because normally you'd get like a game certification on there as well, like a game that's coming later. Like, I'll just show you very quickly. There it is. So it should look like that. But anyway, Armored Core Nexus, if you played it, let me know. You know, I haven't really played it, but, you know, is it good? Who knows? I don't know. Still pretty rare though. My third most valuable PlayStation 2 game is the horror game Clock Tower 3. And I think the most incredible thing about this game, not that it's worth 105 Australian dollars or 70 US dollars or 54 British pounds, is that Kmart actually stocked such a niche game. Kmart in Australia, Kmart and Target have kind of fluctuated in and out of game selling from time to time. They've had more, they've had less. Kmart doesn't actually sell games anymore. Target still do, Big W do, and your game retailers do. But back in the day, $49 would get you a copy of Clock Tower 3. And it is imported because there is this little sticker here as well. So I'm pretty sure that if you look on the spine, we haven't done a lot of looking on the spine, you see the 15 rating for the UK or the European PAL regions there. So you play as Alyssa, who plays a 15-year-old schoolgirl, happy, cheerful, without a care in the world. I played a bit of this. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. You have like a fear meter that gets you more scared. Today that will all change when she discovers the truth about her family, cursed by the servants of evil for generations. Today is the day that Alyssa will fight back. Can she free her family's trapped souls before the servants of evil stop her? Who is the Dark Man, and what is his connection to the mysterious Clock Tower? Can Alyssa survive the horror before the clock strikes midnight? From the creators of Resident Evil and Onimusha. So, I know Clock Tower 1 is on the PS1, and that is a very, very expensive game. I think that's around $100, $150. So, all these Clock Tower games are quite expensive. The disc is there. I picked this up from a bundle, so I can't really even give you a price. I just bought like 20 or 30 PS2 games from someone, and this was in it. And it was kind of the reason that I wanted to get the bundle from them as well. So pretty traditional book. I do like so many of these books. You get a prologue as well. Here are characters: Alyssa, the Dark Man, Evil Men. Some insider info as well. Getting started. Do you remember like reading the manuals in the car on the way home when you were a kid? When you're just glued to the manual. You like just wanna look at the manual and you just read it on the way home. You're like, hurry up, get home, parents, so I can play this game, this brand new game. Then you get home, they'll be like, oh, there's chores to do. And you're like, no. Then there's dinner, no. Then you're not allowed games after dinner and before bed because it's a school night. So you'd have to wait till the next day. But pretty cool. Yeah, just kind of like Resident Evil, but, you know, set slightly differently. So a very kind of niche game here as well. Somewhere between the Resident Evil, Silent Hill type of genre of PS2 games. So again, if you've played it, let me know. My second most valuable PlayStation 2 game is Silent Hill 2. I was just talking about Silent Hill and I forgot Silent Hill was coming up next. Now this game has skyrocketed in value, sitting at 126 Australian dollars, 84 US dollars, and 64 British pounds. Silent Hill, another one of those psychological horror games in the realm, like I just said, of Resident Evil, Clock Tower, all of those types of games. The scarier, the better back in that era. So this must have been traded because we've got $49.95 on there, and that looks to have come from EB Games. We can see it's been stickered for release here in Australia, as this must have just got a European release. I think Silent Hill had an Australian release, but this special 2-disc set is the one I'm going through. And literally I've just got the price for the normal game. So maybe this is worth a little bit more, who knows? But I've just gone with the regular amount, and it's very hard to get stickers off these boxes as well when it's not on the plastic. So I've just left it on there. And I actually found this at an op shop. Yeah, and it was like $5. So big win for me. Sadly, fewer and fewer games are being found that way. There's barely a game to be found at the op shop anymore. So that's pretty sad. And if there is a game there, they can be very, very expensive. So sadly, no more bargains like this anymore. But we've got Silent Hill 2. The silence is broken. James Sunderland's life is shattered when his young wife Mary suffers a tragic death. 3 years later, a mysterious letter arrives from Mary, beckoning him to return to their sanctuary of memories, the dark realm of Silent Hill. It was on PS1, the original Silent Hill. Now James must go back to that special place to uncover the truth, unaware that the answers he seeks will require the ultimate sacrifice. And yeah, you can read all this if you want as well. But it comes with a DVD, and I know it says on the front, the making of this DVD could only be played on a multi-region DVD player. Remember those days? In Australia we were region 4, and the UK was region 2, so you couldn't just import a DVD from the UK and play it on your DVD player in your PlayStation. It wouldn't work. So it was to stop countries with cheaper DVDs just importing them all in from there. So thank goodness those days are gone, because that used to be a colossal pain, especially if something was only released there as well. Alright, we've got the original receipt as well, and I didn't buy this, but this is from an EB Games. So you can look at an old school receipt from EB Games. So the 2nd of what are we in there? September 2006. This is the Australian date, so we go day, month, year. Jonathan was the server, $49, reduced by $5. Americans, if you're watching, no extra tax here. That's just the price. When you get a price, that's just the price. If it's $45, it's $45. There's no adding on 8% or any of that. You just buy it. There's no tipping here either. So you come to Australia, you don't have to tip. Right, I forgot the receipt was even in there, but we've got. Oh, I can see it was from a Blockbuster as well. I didn't actually know that. So you've got the game disc, and then you've got the making of Silent Hill 2. Now, does it say the region on there as well? Sometimes the discs used to have on there, it used to be stamped like region 2 or region 4. So I think if people rented this out from the video store, that's why they put. Oh, there's some more covers here. That's why they put this little note on here. If you hired it out and you wanted to watch the DVD, you couldn't. But I still think definitely worth the price, even if it is from the video store. It's still in pretty good condition. But also it's in my collection, so it doesn't really matter. And we have reached the grand finale, my most valuable PlayStation 2 game. And I bet you didn't have this one on your list when you were thinking of which PlayStation 2 game is worth lots of money. It is Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. My favourite studio is back, Phoenix Games, with an absolutely atrocious game, but for some reason it didn't have a big print run, so it's worth lots of money. And I managed to pick this up from a store for just $2. I don't think they really knew this game was one of the rare Phoenix games. They had quite a few other Phoenix games that were, $3, $4, $5, and this one was just in the middle. And I kind of roughly knew, and I had a little look, and it was one of the rarer titles indeed. Even though this looks like a game that really should be worth $2 in monetary sense, because of its rarity, it's actually worth 127 Australian dollars, 85 US dollars, and 65 British pounds. Really, there is nothing to these games. Phoenix Games has tons and tons of these, where all you get some painting, you get some matching, you get a jigsaw, and the Snow White film goes for about 12 minutes. That is it. You can play this whole thing in like 30 minutes. So they release these as budget titles. Yeah, it even tells you here, look, watching cartoons, there's one. Terrible, I'll try and upload it. Colouring, pairs, can't read, pairs activity, jigsaw puzzle, and a sliding puzzle. That's it. That's all you get. And there's Phoenix Games have about 30 of these games. They're just of different things. I've got tons of them. So, Snow White lives in a perfect forest. Live with 7 clever boys who work every day to protect the forest, greenery, and environment. So I think people don't really spell check these either. They just pump them out. One day, an evil queen disguises herself as an old hag and tricks Snow White into taking a bite from a poisonous apple. Snow White falls into an everlasting sleep, and the 7 clever boys are devastated. Will Snow White ever wake up? And will you ever get your money back if you spend $100 on this game? No. Now, apparently, the rumor is that there is, and I don't really want to say it, but one of the dwarfs kind of looks like he has some sort of colouring on his face, which is not very PC in the modern environment. So we'll see if that's in the booklet, but you might even be able to see it in the footage. I mean, look at these cutting-edge graphics, even for 2006. This looks pretty scary indeed. So there's Snow White, and here it is as well. Look, there's my receipt. Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys, $2. $2. Look, I bought SpongeBob, bought some other stuff as well. Let's have a look at the book. Is the book anything to write home about? I mean, what do you get for your $127? Let's move that out of the way. So it just says your colouring, your pairs, your puzzle activity. Gee, really, that is all. So I bet this was not on your list for the most valuable PlayStation 2 game in Crabman's collection. A little bit embarrassing, but it is what it is. So if you have enjoyed the video, please flick a like down the bottom. It certainly helps me out. Comment down the bottom, I'll comment back. Maybe what's your most valuable PlayStation 2 game? I'd love to hear it. And if you subscribe, you are a dead set legend. I'm going to do top 10, bottom 10, and unique games for the PS4, 3, 2, 1 Vita. And guess what? If they do well, I'll do some of my other consoles as well. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, see you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my top 10 most valuable PlayStation 3 games. They are from the PAL Australia region. My pricing does come from pricecharting.com, so you have to be a little bit flexible with it. In front of you is my big, beefy, original fat PlayStation 3. Number 10 is Rambo the video game, coming in with a value of 55 Australian dollars, 37 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. Now, you may have loved the original Rambo films with Sylvester Stallone. However, you will not love Rambo the video game. This game was given just a 2 out of 10 by IGN, a very, very low Metacritic. It is an on-rails shooter. However, it is so bad, it is almost good to play now, but it is an expensive game to find. You get to win this time. I kind of want to do it in the Sylvester Stallone accent. Prepare for the ultimate authentic Rambo experience. Relive the thrills and blood spills of First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. Master John Rambo's his weaponry to defeat the enemy, from explosive arrows to that trusty, life-saving and taking knife. We have features actual voices of Rambo and Colonel Troutman from the motion pictures, so no re-recording needed. Let's just rip the audio straight off the film. Let's check it out inside. Either it didn't come with a book or I don't have one. I probably just didn't get the book with it, in all fairness. So let's have a little look at the disc. Now, one of the very, very rare games in Australia to, especially in the PS3 era, to get an R18 rating as well, because Australia didn't even have an R rating until well into the PS3 era. So most games that should have been R, well, they were just MA, and then eventually the rating system changed. So let me know down below if you've played Rambo the video game. If you do like this video, flick a quick like down the bottom, subscribe, you're awesome, and super thanks as well. Number 9 is the God of War Collection, coming in at a value of 55 Australian dollars, 37 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. Now, the valuations with this game might be different in your region. I know a lot of games I have are a lot cheaper in the US. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. I also have this collection on the Vita, so you may be seeing this game again in a later video, but remastered in high definition from the PlayStation 2. We have God of War 1 and God of War 2, and you do get a cool making of video as well. 2 epic adventures. Kratos, the most infamous warrior in ancient Greece, hovers on the edge of madness, hunted by an insatiable hunger to destroy Ares, the god of war. But as he rages through battle after bloody battle with mounting force, he must strive to alter that which no god, no mortal, has ever changed, his own hellish fate. Now, I feel a bit guilty because I haven't played the original God of War 1 or 2. I played God of War on the PS4, so let's have a little look at the disc, which is pretty boring. It's pretty similar to the background of the cover here. But we do have, I've got my receipt. I actually picked up this game pretty recently. As you can see up the top, God of War 3, $22.50. So I thought that was a pretty good price. And hey look, I also got Tekken 2 for the PS1 for $13.50 as well. So had a pretty good day out there game collecting. You do have to be very thrifty when you have nearly 3,000 video games. It has a cool book. The book is in really good condition. I'll flick it through for you. Just some regular information. A note from the developers. We are thrilled. Setting up. I mean, I don't know why you need the manual to put the disc in, but here are the basic controls of God of War. Got your heavy attacks, your normal attacks, your chain grabs, which you should be seeing in the footage as well. I did enjoy having a little blast through the start of these two games. I really enjoyed the game on PS4 as well. I probably should play the others, but if you're anything like me and you are a collector, you have so much to play that you just can't play absolutely everything. So I would like to play these games, but who knows. Cool manual as well. And out now, Heavy Rain. That is an amazing game if you haven't played it, but hopefully you've played these two awesome games. Number 8 is Tales of Xillia 2, coming in at a value of 57 Australian dollars, $38.50 US, and 30 British pounds. Now, I am a massive fan of the Tales series. For me, Tales of Grace's F is my favourite. I loved Xillia 1 on the PS3, and Xillia 2 was good as well. I've played the PS4 games, Zestiria and Berseria. Zestiria wasn't great, and Arise on PS5, along with Tales of Hearts R, which you may see on the PS Vita video. So we've got the power of choice. A lot of people were critical of the big fine that you got at the start of this game and that you had to pay it back, but for me that was only a little part of the story, and that didn't really affect the game for me. You've got Ludger Kresnik. In the first game, you're trying to find the Lance of Kresnik. A young man with a zest for cooking lives with his older brother and cat, Rollo, in the world of Olympios. On his way to his first day at work for a local cafeteria, he runs into a young girl named Elmata, and the two soon become involved in an accident that will change both of their lives forever. So I think that's where he gets the fine. So I have beaten this game, but it was back, I believe, in 2014, I think this game was released. I think it was just a straight year after Xillia. I think Xillia was 2013, and I think this was 2014 from memory, but probably came out a little bit earlier in Japan. Normally took a couple of years for the localization to come over. Let's check out the book. We do get the book as well. We get little registration card. Let's have a little look at our Xillia 2 book. Always the information at the start. I like these books don't have to be too massive, but let's see if it's a good book or a pretty average book. Oh no, I thought there were 2 pages stuck together. Controls, pretty regular. Now look, not a massive book. That is really it for the book. Really, it's like a one-page book of L and Ludger. So L is 8, Ludger 20. I'll let you have a little look. And I couldn't seem to access my save data from before either, so you're just seeing a little bit of footage from the beginning of the game. If I've normally got save data, I normally try and play it from there. Number 7 is El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Not a game you see very often, and it is valued at 58 Australian dollars, 39 US dollars and 31 British pounds. However, this game has been stickered as it didn't get a Australian release. So technically this is the US release, which normally goes for about 10 US dollars more, but I'm going to stick with my list as it stands. A very, very unique game. It kind of is platforming at some parts and more adventure in other parts. So journey to a world that no mortal has seen. Experience an adventure that perfectly balances and fuses together different types of gameplay. 3D exploration, 3D battles, 2D exploration, 2D battles. So it kind of feels a bit like when Mario Odyssey kind of flips between the 2 and 3D modes. A little bit like that. Lose yourself in constantly changing dreamscapes, crafted with a revolutionary artistic style. Easy to learn, hard to master. Now, bit of a confession, I've only played this game for about an hour. Just too many games to play, but I liked it because it looked really interesting, and I like picking up anything that looks unusual. So this could have made my top 10 unusual game, unique game list, which will come out in a few weeks as well, so check that out. But it was valued pretty high, so I like that the disc is different to the cover. That's not always the case, so it's a very blue theme going on and yellow on the case. I do have my original receipt, so you can have a look here. El Shaddai, $13. I did buy it, oh my goodness, nearly 9 years ago now, so that makes me feel a bit funny inside. But I still have it after all this time. Maybe one day I'll get around to playing it. Now you get a very, very thick book. Sometimes with these books, they come in all the languages in one book, but we'll have a look. So, story on page 2. I like we're straight into the story, so this could be interesting to have a look at if you don't have a copy of the game, or if you do have a copy of the game, but it didn't come with the manual. So a lot of time it didn't really matter if you didn't get the manual, but there's Enoch. But this game seems to have a very PS2 era full detailed manual, so you have a little bit of a look getting started. A very unique game. I'm not sure if it sold particularly well, which is a little bit of a shame with these games. Guard break, counter attack. So I only ever remember seeing this game once in the store, and then if I see a game that's pretty unusual, I will try and jump on it if it's a good price as well. So it looked like it had been reduced down to $13. The same thing, I picked up Hero Land for the PS4 just the other day as well, because it was unusual and it was discounted, and if things are around the $10 mark, I tend to try and pick them up just for my own preservation, and my game room is getting very, very full indeed. That's what I normally notice, is it's French in the second half of the book. At least I hope it's French. I'm looking through my camera, but the same thing. But a nice, oh, that's a good back cover. Swarm. I don't remember hearing that game at all. So if you've heard of Swarm, if you've played Swarm, let me know. But it looks a bit like, Mercury Meltdown, the same developers, but I'm pretty sure Swarm was just digital only there. We've got El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Number 6 is Puppeteer, valued at 73 Australian dollars, 49 US dollars and 38 British pounds. Now Puppeteer came out right at the end of the PS3's life. I believe it came out in 2014, so the PS4 was already released, and from what I remember, it was a day one release or a very quick release on PS Plus. So I remember seeing this in stores, but I had it on PlayStation Plus, so I had no reason to buy it. So I think that's what happened to a lot of copies of Puppeteer. They didn't really get bought, and I'm sure, being at the end of the PS3 life cycle, that not a lot of copies were printed either. But I actually just wanted to show you, remember when 3D games were a thing? I had a 3D TV, I bought the glasses, which were $140, and really the only games I played in 3D were Sonic Generations and Killzone 3, and to be honest, it was pretty average. So let's check out Puppeteer. Plays a little bit like Little Big Planet as well. I played about half of this game when it first came out. So step into the theatre of fantasy. Kotaro's in trouble. The evil Moon Bear King, Moon Bear Pig from South Park, has stolen his soul and turned him into a wooden puppet. Now Kotaro must defeat the Moon Realm's 12 fearsome generals, plus the tyrant himself, to find a way home. So we've got 21 strange lands, 100 unique puppet heads, and wield the magic scissors to cut your way through obstacles and enemies. Let's check out the inside. The disc is a little bit different to the cover, which I do like. I also like when there's some cool artwork as well set behind. There's the Puppeteer disc. What's really cool about this game is it's not just a manual, it's a Puppeteer program. So when I did buy this game, I bought this off Marketplace. The person had about 30 games for sale, and I just wanted to buy Puppeteer. And she messaged me back and saying, everyone keeps messaging me about Puppeteer, because it was really the one unique game she had amongst the 30 regular games. Welcome, a note from the director. We're going to read that out before the show begins. So I do like they stick to the show theme. You've got your cast. Esma Potts, the Moon Bear King. Yin Yang, General Tiger. Stage directions of how to play. So if you've played Little Big Planet, it's the same. You can play this with the Move controller, although I'm not sure anyone really wants to do that. I have the Move controllers. I don't really think I've ever used them, except for with the VR and to capture any footage for these videos. Losing your head, which is how you lose in the game. If you lose your head, you can't get it back. Reminds me a little bit like Yoshi's Story. But here's the spine. And there's Puppeteer. Number 5 is Time and Eternity, valued at 75 Australian dollars, 51 US dollars, and 39 British pounds. Now it is a JRPG, and I'm going to admit something, one that I have not played. There were so many awesome JRPGs on the PS3 at the time. I played through a lot of those things like Tales of Graces, Zillia 2, Star Ocean, Final Fantasy 13, Eternal Sonata. So there are so many RPGs I did play without managing to get to Time and Eternity. I think on Metacritic it sits around 60, so not the best game out there, but maybe a low print run, and that is the reason for the game being valued so much today. So pretty plain spine, but a new class of high def animation RPG. From world to battle to enemies, everything is hand drawn. Go back in time, prevent your own murder, and save your marriage. Take hold of swords, guns, and even time itself. Prepare for lightning-quick, real-time battles. I also remember playing Artanelico, Nell of RCL as well around this time, so many JRPGs to play. The disc, a little bit different from the cover, which again I do like. And I do have my original receipt, so even though I haven't played it, Time and Eternity, just $9, so I don't feel too bad that I haven't played it. And the EB World Level 3, $29.95. Now, from memory, you could level up to level 3. It did cost $30, but you got a 12-month game magazine subscription sent to your door, so well worth the $30. And I've bought something up here too for $5. Can't quite see what that is. I don't know, so let's move on. So that's my receipt. Decent sized manual as well. It feels pretty hefty in the hand. It might be a multiple language booklet, but still should be pretty good. Let's check out what's in here. There's the story. You can pause that if you want to read that through. We've got our contents page, 24 pages. I think this is just in English. Game setup. I don't know what it needs to tell you about the title screen. How to play the game. What to do in the menus during battle. Use your skills. Here are characters. Toki Toa, the hero. Drake the dragon. How to advance the story. It's kind of got a static overworld map that you choose between. Home screen. That's a pretty good sized book for the PS3 era. They started to phase the books out as the PS3 era went on. Resonance of Fate, that's another, not JRPG, but RPG type game I played. Obviously, Elder Scrolls Skyrim. There was just so many RPGs to play in this era that these mediocre RPGs didn't always get played. There was also the Atelier series as well. So many indeed. But there is Time and Eternity. Number 4 is Azura's Wrath, valued at 78 Australian dollars, 53 US dollars, and 41 British pounds. Some controversy around this game was that the game's proper ending was locked behind DLC, so I don't know if that's what contributed to rather low sales and pushing the value of this game up now, but I know at the time a lot of people were very unhappy with the fact, not just a bonus or an epilogue, it was the actual proper ending of the game locked behind a paywall. Pretty insulting when you've paid full price for a game. Now, luckily I didn't pay full price for this game, and I did play it for a couple of hours, so I didn't get to the end, but I felt like I did get my money's worth. It's a hack and slash of the highest order, which you definitely want to quote from Pimp TV. If I want someone to buy my game, that's my reputable source. A stunning mix of Asian mythology and sci-fi, seamlessly blending gameplay and story. To be fair, it's mostly story with quick time events, relentless action and near impossible challenges. Yeah, like whether to buy the DLC to get the proper ending. Betrayed by the gods, banished for 12,000 years, his wife killed, his daughter kidnapped. In a truly unique blend of breathtaking action and story, Azura's Wrath takes you on a relentless quest for revenge against foes with unimaginable powers. Rage never dies. Now, it is mainly story with quick time events from what I remember playing the game. So we've got a big receipt here, we'll get to that in a minute. The cover, yeah, is just the disc is the same as the cover, so I'm not going to get that out. Let's check out this receipt. We've got a Wii game for $4, Shadow of the Damned. Here is Azura's Wrath, $8. Now, a lot of these games were discounted. I'm going to let you in on an EB game secret that I'm not sure whether they still do this. They used to price games like this. We're at $16.08. The 8 cents was what the game was going to get discounted to. So if you notice $13.04, eventually it was going to be discounted to $4. So I knew of this hack, and so if I saw a game at $13.04, I would wait until it was down to $4. Same here, $9.04. What have we got on the other side here? Hey, we got my Tales of Hearts R pre-order. You're going to see that on a later Vita video. Love the Tales games. Probably should get back to Azura's Wrath, but this receipt, also very interesting. things like this known as ephemera. So you might have learnt something in the video today. Things like a receipt that normally you would throw away that actually become interesting over time. Ephemera, that's the word of the day on Crabman Gaming. Azura's Wrath's got a cool booklet as well. Looks to be about a 14-page booklet. That's pretty standard. Here's the story. Again, if you want to pause it, go for it. Try and get the light off it there. It's a very dark and gloomy day here in Crabman Land. Normally the outside light would be enough, the 7 deities. But it is grey, grey, grey. Mithra, the Goma. It's a pretty cool booklet. I like it getting started. You can check out the gameplay as well. Burst gauge, controls. So I don't think this game has been ported to any other system, so I think it's just a PS3 only game. Don't hold me to that. Maybe it's got an update by the time you're watching this. Azura's Wrath. Let's check out the spine. Alright, looks good. Number 3 is Short Peace, Ranko Tsukagimi's Longest Day. And what a strange old game this is. It is valued at 98 Australian dollars, 66 US dollars, and 51 British pounds. More of just an anime video than a game. It contains different works from different artists, rated MA, but a really interesting cover that I do like a lot. I like the spine as well, and kind of the Japanese flag there in the middle. And it's really the only game that I know of that is really promoting that it is more of a video than a game. So there's dramatic anime and video game in one package. A feast, it's getting close, for the imagination from the world's greatest creators. Manga and anime creator Katsuhiro Otomo, who's shaken up the world with his revolutionary works, heads a star-studded collection of brilliant artists, each showing their own unique style and the very cutting edge of technology. Don't miss this groundbreaking work, which truly typifies the essence of Japan. And these are the works that you get here: Possessions, Combustible, Gambo, A Farewell to Weapons, an opening animation, and then the 5th piece is this game here. So I did notice 68 minutes of runtime, and then a game here, which kind of is like a 2D side-scrolling run and gun. Put your skills to the test in a fast-paced game, a fast-paced action game set in modern Japan. Alright, let's check out the disc. The disc is kind of the same. Looks pretty normal. I do have, look what I found here, my original receipt. Now, it is very, very faded because I believe it's from 2016. So I'm not sure if it's going to pick it up on there, but this was $10. And I remember when I saw this game, I saw that it was $10. It looked weird, so I bought it. Like most of the games on this list or in my unique 10 list. And I tend to tuck the receipts in there. That's a good way to keep your receipts, although they can fade over time as well. I never really ever bothered redeeming those to become a member. Let's move that right out the way. Let's just check out the booklet here for Ranko Tsukagimi's Longest Day. Good sized booklet. Rather thick pages as well. It was quite hard to turn over. Exploring the hybrid disc. So, the hybrid disc contains 4 anime works plus a video game. So very, very unique. I don't know if there are any other games or PS3 media that is the same. So introducing the compilation. Maybe that's something they could have explored a little bit more on the PS3, having some more anime, half the disc being anime and half a game. That could have been good. Things like, I'm thinking of like Naruto. Maybe you could have had a couple of episodes on the disc as well if you had space. Short Peace. She's living alone in a parking garage. She's the only daughter of leader of the underground conglomerate. By day, she's a run-of-the-mill schoolgirl with a bit of attitude. Always at school. Why is everyone at school in Japan? I know they go to school 6 days a week. It seems every game is set at set at school. And it is actually fast-paced as well, this game, so hopefully you enjoyed having a little look through and you're enjoying some of the footage as well. Number 2 is Armored Core Verdict Day, coming in at a value of 115 Australian dollars, 78 US dollars, and 60 British pounds, made by Bandai Namco. The Armored Core series is always quite hard to come by, but a pretty niche genre. So again, probably not a lot of copies of this game made. So you can check out the spine. I always mistakenly call this Armored Core 5 Verdict Day, but it is not. To secure peace, and you play as giant mechs. You must prepare for war. Strategy is at its utmost level. Secure the last remaining resources needed for your faction's survival. And this is not a game for the faint of heart. I believe it's a From Software game as well, but I believe that this game had a big online element, but you can play offline as well. 60 story missions, and it's actually really, really hard. Fight online with up to 10 players. And I think if you're playing online, these people are taking this seriously. I think Armored Core 5 just came out on the PS5 as well. So this series has made a little bit of a comeback. But generally, quite hard to find these Armored Core games. They're a very niche game. The disc is pretty much the same as the cover. And I do have my receipt. Snuck this in. $6, so absolute bargain. When I saw it, I knew it was a little bit unusual, so I picked it up. Oh, and I also got Rambo at the same time, which you saw kick off this video. So a very good day for Crabman collecting. They're giving this game a little bit of a blast, but it is very, very hard. It does come with a cool book though as well. Table of contents, setting up, getting started. They always put setting up there like you don't know how to set up your own PS3 game. So I'll let you have a little look at the prologue. 3 rival superpowers. This is the forgotten tale of a lone mercenary. You've got your 3 forces. It reminds me a little bit of playing Dune back in the day, or Dune 2 on the PC, where you had your 3 factions that would all fight each other as well. That was an awesome game. There's a Dune game on the PS4 and 5, but I haven't played that yet. So we are near the business end as well. Game number 2. There is just one game to go. What game is going to be more valuable here than Armored Core? I wonder if you have any thoughts of what it might be. Online play. Now, I don't think the servers are still online anymore. I don't think there's any real servers online. Very, very few. Maybe just some Call of Duties for the PS3, but that is Armored Core Verdict Day. Stay tuned for number 1. And my number 1 most valuable PS3 game is BioShock Infinite, the complete edition. Except, no, it isn't. Just like with Dark Souls 2, this has value all over the place. So I haven't included it officially on the list, but it's here as a little special bonus for you. For some reason, valued anywhere from $185 Australian, really to anything. I had a little look on eBay, and the cheapest I could find with the Australian cover was $90 plus $20 shipping. So really, this game seems to be going anywhere from 75 US to 125 US, or somewhere around the £100 mark. So I thought I'd include it as a little bonus and blast through. Now what's different is it includes all the add-on packs, I believe, on the disc, but I could be wrong, so let me know in the comments if that is not the case. Again, in the US, I think you can pick this up for like $10 or $20. I don't know why this Australian version is so rare, but an awesome game. I remember this getting 10 out of 10 when it came out. The year is 1912, deep in debt. Brooke DeWitt has only one opportunity for a clean slate. Rescue Elizabeth, a mysterious girl imprisoned since childhood in the flying city of Columbia. So most people have probably played BioShock Infinite, but you can see it's got the season pass which includes Clash in the Clouds, Burial at Sea, and some other stuff there as well. Let me actually hold it steady. I'm going for a long time on this video. Alright, so the disc looks different as well because you get the disc with the kind of red top, the complete edition, along with the booklet as well. So it's pretty similar, except you get the red start. Welcome to Colombia, how to play. Oh gee, I hope no one's played this with the move controls. I don't really know many games that have been made better with the move controls that weren't the VR games as well. So hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of footage of the intro here of BioShock Infinite. Do you have a favourite between BioShock, BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite? Do you have a favourite game that you like? Well, we are just about at number 1, so hopefully you enjoyed having a little look at BioShock Infinite, the complete edition. And my number 1 most valuable PS3 game is Dark Souls 2 Black Armor Edition, except it is not. Pricing was all over the place for this game. I had a range from $200, and then the next time I looked it was $142. I looked at the US copies and you can get one of those for $20. But where I think the price is spiking all over the place is this Australian PAL slipcase. So I'm going to put this game in as a little bit of an unranked bonus. Probably valued anywhere from 140 to 200 Australian dollars. But in the US, you seem to have lots of copies of this game. And I'm going to show you what I actually got included in the Dark Souls 2 Black Armor Edition. So it was too interesting not to put in this game. So if it is 142 to 200 Australian dollars, it's about 100 to 135 US and about 75 to 100 pounds. So let's have a look. We've got this slip cover, which I kind of like over a steelbook, but go beyond death. From Software's grueling breakout hit returns to claim your soul. And this is what you get in the Black Armor Edition. So you get the steel box and the game, and you get an official soundtrack, and you got some early access to some shields and weapons, but they did expire in 2019, so you won't get that anymore. And really, you wouldn't know this is just PAL Australian unless you had the slip cover, but that is one of the most awesome steelbook cases that I've ever seen. It even looks pretty cool on the back as well, but I'm giving that 5 stars out of 5. But what do you get inside? Now, I got a little bit of a bonus in mine. First of all, I'm going to show you the CD. I'm just going to pull out the CD. You've got all the tracks on there and some cool artwork back there as well. This did come out in 2014. What I do like with the PS3 is that when you got a CD, you can actually play it in the PS3. Your collector's edition with the PS4, the PS4 doesn't actually play CDs. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you can't play them in your PS4. I tried that, it doesn't work. Dark Souls 2, we get the cool book. Now this is a huge book, so I'm going to have to go quick. It's a 30-page book. It's always getting started every time. They must have been forced to put that in there. So if it's controls, I'm just going to flip through quick. There's stamina. There's some more game controls. Reading the screen, what's going on with your character. What's going on is you're probably going to die. That's what's going to happen in Dark Souls. Now, I originally did have Demon Souls. Was the first one that I had, but very hard indeed. But I know a lot of people are big fans of this, like Bloodborne, all the sequels. I know they remastered, I think it was Demon Souls for the PS5 upon release. I'm not sure if they've made one lately though. Okay. I was going to say the book wasn't super exciting here until you've got to the different classes, and we've got some good artwork going. If you have beaten Dark Souls 2, let me know down below. The Deprived, poor fella, it's not looking like he's having a good time. So many credits, and Are You Without Hope? Detailed YouTube videos. So I like there's an official YouTube channel, so I've never really seen that before. Let's slide to the other side. You can register your game. This was the extra add-on, which now won't work, so you can't even steal that off me. And for some reason, I did get the disc, which is the Dark Souls 2 disc, and obviously I bought this second hand, but in my copy I got Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition was snuck in there as well. So I think when this game was sold to me, I think they thought that this disc was supposed to be in there and they didn't realize it wasn't a part of this whole package. So I kind of already had it, but it's pretty cool to have the first Dark Souls in there and the second Dark Souls. And I did a little bit of research online, and you're not supposed to have Dark Souls 1 in there as well, but I do. So again, a really tricky game to try and price because it has jumped all over the place. So not an official entry on the list, but a special bonus for you, Dark Souls 2 Black Armor Edition. And we have reached the grand finale. This is the real number one, my most valuable PlayStation 3 game, and it is the infamous Godzilla. Now, I know this game is on PlayStation 4 as well, but you may not know that the PlayStation 3 version is almost as valuable. This game is currently valued at an absolutely whopping and astounding 323 Australian dollars. That is $218 US and 169 pounds. Unlike some of the other games on the list, this game is expensive in every single region. Even a Japanese copy is going to cost you over $100. So let's have a look. Hopefully you are enjoying the footage. Now, this does say $49 from JB Hi-Fi. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I picked this game up not for $49, not for $40, not for $20. I actually picked this game up on clearance for $1 single dollar. At the time, I knew the PS4 version was getting a little bit pricey. It was around $100 at the time, so I thought, hey, I'll pick up the PS3 version, and I didn't really think anything of it until the price absolutely skyrocketed. The game, honestly, is pretty average. Become the king of the monsters, movie-like action and gameplay, battle against legendary monsters. So it's nothing to write home about, but I know for some people it is becoming one of those absolute grails that they must own, more so on the PS4 than the PS3. So I'm not sure some people are even aware that there is a PlayStation 3 version. So we'll go through the booklet last. Hollywood Godzilla, day one bonus, no disc included, DLC only. It's probably expired. It expires in 2020, so you know, if you want to try and use the code there, go ahead. I've never really done any of this registering, but let's go through the Godzilla booklet. If you haven't flicked a like down the bottom, do that really quickly, because we've got plenty more of these top 10, bottom 10 and unique 10 videos to go. There are heaps of them. PS4, 3, 2, 1 and Vita. Table of contents. We get a nice sized book though here with Godzilla. Starting the game. I did get this game from new as well, so it was in the clearance section. We've got Godzilla's atomic breath, how to play, do some tail whipping. And if you haven't checked out a song called Godzilla, actually it's called Godzilla's Lament by Evil Scarecrow, wink wink, go check it out. Pretty funky tune. It is quite heavy. It's a little warning, God of Destruction mode. So you can devastate cities, so as you can see in the footage, absolutely destroying some cities, knocking down buildings, basically being as destructive as Godzilla can be. And I think it gets bigger as well the more damage and destruction that you do. I had a good time capturing the footage for Godzilla. I don't know if I have the patience to sit through the entire game though. That could be up to you if you've got this on PS3 or PS4. So maybe you could just download it off the PlayStation Network. Well, it was a bit stuck together. And maybe you can enjoy Godzilla that way. But if you do want a physical copy of this game, it is going to set you back a few $100s. and it has been Crabman from Crabman Gaming. If you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure you put a little like down the bottom, commented maybe your most valuable PlayStation 3 game, subscribe if you haven't, there's super thanks, and there are plenty more of these videos. We've got top 10, bottom 10, most unique games for the PlayStation 4, 3, 2, 1, PlayStation Vita, and if they do well, I'll do some for a few other systems as well. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my top 10 most valuable PlayStation 4 games, turning this into a series of most valuable, least valuable, and unique 10 games for the PlayStation 4, 3, 2, 1, and Vita. Now, the pricing for these games comes from pricecharting.com and is for the Australian PAL region. So please take the pricing with a pinch of salt. I did not cross-check everything with eBay, as I do own 377 physical PlayStation 4 games. I did a video a couple of years ago on my PS4 games. I'll try and link that up the top. Now in front of you is my PlayStation 4 Pro. I had an original PS4 from launch day back in 2013 and then upgraded to the Pro just before getting my PS5, so it has done me well capturing lots of the footage for this video. Number 10 is Stardew Valley, coming in with a value of 55 Australian dollars, 37 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. I got this game on PS4, played it for about 10 minutes, didn't really like it very much, and then later played it on the Switch, and then came back to it again on the PS4. But here is the PS4 Collector's Edition. Not easy to come by, and I don't think it has an Australian release, so we've got the kind of European rating system on there. And if we open up, let's check out the game disc. So there's the disc for you to have a look at as well. And with the collector's edition, you do get this pretty awesome map, which I used to have displayed up in my game room. Just show everyone this pretty wicked map. Not too many games come with maps. And you also receive the Stardew Valley soundtrack for anybody still with a CD. And let's get that out to have a little look. Looks very similar to the game disc. Might put that on a little bit later. And then there's a cool mini guidebook to have a look at as well. So check out the pricing of this online. It might be cheaper in your region. And this has been an absolutely amazing game. Comment down below if you have played Stardew Valley, one of my favorite games to have a little bit of a relax to as well. Let's pop through some basic skills: farming, mining, foraging, combat, and fishing. And you can see some footage as well to your right. Good seasonal crops. It was found there was like one that was very hard to grow. Combat as well, you need to get deep into the mines. I did play this game an awful lot. There's foraging and some basic tips as well. Great idea for Stardew Valley. Number 9 on my list is Journey, coming in at 56 Australian dollars, 38 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. What can I say about Journey? An absolutely incredible game, only 2 hours long, but an unforgettable experience. Play through it in one single go because it is absolutely amazing. I think I originally had this as a digital download, and then when I found this collector's edition, I wanted to add this to my collection as well. And if you do get this collection, not only do you get Journey, but you get Flower, which was one of the first games I played on the PS4, and Flow as well. So you get 3 games in this collection. Let's open it up and see what you get inside. Really, it's just the disc, but you'll be able to see what the disc looks like. with Flow, Journey and Flower on there as well. Not a cheap game to come by at the moment, so you can check out Flow, which you are this organism going deeper and deeper down. Journey, where you're this unknown character trying to get to the mountaintop, and Flower, which really felt like a PlayStation 4 technical demo as well, to show off just some of the awesome new graphics. I remember being really amazed by how awesome Flower looked, and also FIFA 14 when I first played that as well. Number 8 is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4, coming in at a value of 56 Australian dollars, 38 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. The fourth game in the Trails of Cold Steel series. Sometimes I call it Trials of Cold Steel. I get them a little bit mixed up. And I have played the first game in this series on the PS Vita, but I haven't yet played 2 or 3 or 4. I actually don't own 2, but I own 1 and 3 and 4, so I do need to pick up 2 sometime, as 1 and 2 were on the PS3 and the Vita originally. Now, you may notice something strange about this cover, and that is because I have flipped the cover. What I like about alternate covers is it looks really cool, but I don't like when the back isn't the same. So I'm going to flip it over now. Now this is the cover you are probably more familiar with seeing. An absolutely incredible series which goes for a long time indeed. We are still following the same characters along, and you can see I got my bonus for playing through the first game, which I did actually finish on the PS4. So you actually get, in this edition, you get a CD. Lots of these games come with CDs. So we get the Echoes of Erebonia little album, which you obviously can. You can't really play CDs in your PS4, which is a little bit strange. You can in the PS3. We've got our game disc, looking very good. And then also, there's a couple of bonuses here as well. So we've got The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. I always want to call it Trials, the Black Records. We've got The Legend of Heroes Trials of Cold Steel 4, the Black Records. It's cool that you get a little bit of a book there as well. We'll go through the characters. I'll try not to put any spoilers, but Reen Schwarzer, who's been there since the first game. And looks like we've got some characters returning and some new characters in the game as well, which makes sense considering it is the fourth game in the series. But I'll show you some of the book, which you don't get if you just buy this game digitally. So I do like trying to pick up physical editions where I can, and I do mean to play 2 as soon as I can. 2 is a really hard game to get because it's just digital only, unless you pick it up on the Vita or the PS3, and then it's hard to convert all your data over. And then also on the Vita version, there's no speeding up of the battle, so it does make the game really long. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at Trials of Cold Steel 4. Number 7 is Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge, which I can only assume is an Australian or region exclusive. And this game is currently valued at 59 Australian dollars, 40 US dollars, and 31 Great British pounds. I'm not sure you have a local copy in the US, but a very unique game. We used to get Australian exclusive games, things like AFL and V8 Supercars, but we haven't had a lot of Australian exclusives lately. So Far Lap was a very famous Australian horse, I believe in the 1930s, and just won so many races and dominated. So the legend of Far Lap is very strong in Australian culture. So Far Lap, the ride of your life. Experience the thrill and thunder of racing with the pride and prestige of building your own stable of champions. Make history and build a brighter future in Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge. Cinematic graphics showcase realistic horses and capture the action of the race with motion captured animations. Online racing. I'm not sure how many people are online. Breed champion horses with the in-depth genetic breeding system and place bets alongside your mates and watch the race play out in real time, up to 8 players. Now, gee, betting digitally doesn't sound super exciting, so let's check out what's inside. Got the Far Lap disc. Looks very similar to the cover, and I do try and put receipts in my games, as you can see. 5 entire dollary dues for Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge. I did think this game would become a little bit hard to find. We have a cool Far Lap book as well. Gee, it's a big book, 26 pages. I'll try and skim through, but this is probably the only version of the Far Lap book that is put online, so you can have a little skim through the Far Lap book, How to Race. I probably should have read this first, as you're watching the footage. I did not do particularly well and got dominated towards the end. Distance ability. I mean, I'm not really into horse racing. You might be into horse racing, but not something I'm super into. You get a little bit of a story going, if that's your thing. If one of the other 1,000 games on PS4 doesn't take your attention, maybe Far Lap is for you. Selling a stud. Get a breeding stall, a horse stall, choose a location, hire some jockeys. So maybe there's an in-depth story mode. I don't know if anyone else has played this to put this online. Honestly, I am not super keen, but a cool thing to own as an Australian as well. So there was the book. Here's the case one more, and I got one last thing to show you before we move on. I also own this game on the Xbox One, and I also own this game on the Switch, and all 3 versions are quite valuable, so you may see them on a future list. Number 6 is Death End Request, which is valued at 61 Australian dollars, 41 US dollars, and 32 British pounds. Now this is a dungeon crawler RPG, and from the little small amount I've played of this game, very, very brutal indeed. I am very shocked this has just an MA rating, as the first part I played of this game was absolutely brutal. I did have to edit some parts out as well, but let's check out the physical copy. Trapped between reality and the virtual world, what really happens when it's game over? Shift battles from turn-based to fighters, shooters, and more. Crack the code to unlock skills. Log out to uncover mysteries in the real world. This also has a sequel, which I believe this game and the sequel are both currently on PS Plus if you do want to check them out. But physical copies are quite few and far between. You just get a little bit of inside artwork here, which is similar to the back cover, and it looks like there is a reversible cover, which I will show you at the end. We have a game disc here, always a bit tricky to get out. Get a nice good close-up. Alright, let's check out our alternate cover. Here is the alternate cover for Death End Request, and unlike Trials of Cold Steel, it actually has a proper back cover as well. So I think if companies are reversing their covers with reversible artwork, you do need to have a proper front and a proper back. Now, I may have flipped this cover when I got the game because I like to display the alternate covers. So if you have played Death End Request, comment below and let me know if I should play it. Number 5 is the Talos Principle Deluxe Edition, which is valued at $61, 41 US dollars, and 32 Great British pounds. Quite a lot of games very similar in price here for the PS4. Now, when I originally began these videos, the Talos Principle wasn't on my original list, and with the updated pricing, it shot up to number 5 on my list. Now, I believe that's due to the Talos Principle 2 just being released, which is why you can see games fluctuating in price. You might see games on my list that are no longer in my top 10 if I looked it up today. And I just did the pricing for the regular edition as well, so maybe the deluxe edition could be worth a little bit more money. Now, this is a puzzle game. It is not one I've managed to get around to, but if you have played it, let me know how you've gone with the game. So here is the game disc. I'm sure this cat has a big part to play in the game, but I haven't played it. And let's check out how much I paid for this game that I haven't played. So here is my faded receipt for the Talos Principle. I did seem to buy it back here in 2018 in December for $23. It's faded off, but I bought it with Natural Doctrine at the same time, $42 total. So if it is pretty awesome, let me know below if I should give it a go. And if you've played 2, is that one good as well? Number 4 is The Witcher 3 expansion pack, Hearts of Stone, valued at $62, 41 US dollars and 32 British pounds. This one is a little bit of a cheat because you do need the Witcher original game to play it, which I have, and I did buy the expansion pack as well at the time. Now, I played The Witcher probably for about 10 to 15 hours on a couple of occasions. I never really got to the end or this expansion pack, but what's cool about this expansion pack is that it does come with a couple of playing packs of Gwent. So if you're really into Gwent, then this is the expansion pack for you, and probably why it's held its value. Now, little spoiler, I've never opened the Gwent cards, never really got into Gwent in the game, tried to get into The Witcher because I am a really big fan of RPGs and JRPGs and anything RPG, and I thought The Witcher 3 would be the game for me, and I tried really hard to get into it twice, didn't quite manage it. So this is your download card. I'm just gonna cover up the voucher code there, but some people are saying this expansion is almost bigger than a lot of regular games as well. But what's really cool is you do get this Gwent game guide. So I have just put footage in from the original Witcher because I haven't quite got to this expansion pack, and I'm going to save my voucher as it doesn't expire until 2038. So I'm sure it'll be 2038 before we know it. And normally I do like card games within games, so things like Triple Triad in Final Fantasy. There was Queen's Blood in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and this is where it gets pretty exciting. So we've got our Gwent cards here still sealed. Maybe this could make this worth a little bit more money if these Gwent cards haven't been opened, but you get to have a little look at them here as well. I'm sure, like most collectors, they have a vast range of things that they have collected that haven't been played. So you've got your little card deck and things too. Oh, I've lost a greenie. It must be in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Don't want to lose any bits here. So if you've played The Witcher 3 and you've played Gwent, you'll know what this is all about. So anyway, cool for everyone to have a little look at. It's cool to have a look at some of the physical things that you can collect, because we are moving into an ever more digital environment, and it's nice for people to have a little look. So a little cheat, but I wanted to include that because this pack was pretty special as well. We'll slide it back in its case. No wonder if they're going to release The Witcher 4 anytime soon. Number 3 is Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, coming in at 66 Australian dollars, 45 US dollars, and 35 British pounds, part of the Fate series. Now, an interesting part about this game, I'll tell you in just a moment, but it says, virtually unstoppable. Command a huge roster of heroes in a battle to dominate a virtual world within a crystalline supercomputer. Choose your faction and conquer territories inside the Seraph program. Team up with 3 headstrong heroines and their loyal allies as they engage in explosive overclock combat using legendary abilities and devastating all-new Mooncrux transformations. This world and the destiny of your servants is in your hands. So I really like the artwork of this game as well. And you may notice this doesn't have the usual Australian rating system on there, and that is because I bought this game overseas. This game did not have an Australian physical release, to my knowledge. So I did buy this game right here. This is pretty interesting. Gamers Hideout Mid-Valley Outlet in Kuala Lumpur. So when I was in Kuala Lumpur, I managed to head over to this game store and picked up, as you can see here, it was even pre-owned, Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, 169 Malaysian ringgit. So the exchange rate is about 3 to 1, so you get 3 ringgit per Australian dollar. So this game did cost me close to 60 Australian dollars for a pre-owned copy. And there's a little bonus on the other side as well. You can see Virtue's last reward for the PS Vita, so 60 ringgit, which is about 20 Australian dollars, so I spent about $80 in total. Number 2 is Gravity Rush Remastered, coming in at 97 Australian dollars, 65 US dollars, and 51 Great British pounds. Now, like most people, I originally played this game on the Vita. I think it was on PS Plus, so I don't have a physical copy of the game, but this version is really hard to find, this green cover PAL version. I believe the North American version is a lot cheaper, so people watching from the US, you are able to pick up the kind of, I think it's like a white cover, the same as Japan. So here's our back cover. Fall into a gravity-defying adventure. You've got Cat there as your protagonist with a mysterious cat at your side. Harness the incredible power of gravity and save a world under siege from strange forces. Manipulate gravity with a DualShock 4 motion sensor. Explore a huge open world filled with secrets. Enjoy extra missions and costumes with all the DLC from the PS Vita edition. I did play this on the Vita, not too much here on the PS4, but a very highly sought after game. Let's do the disc first. Always a bit hard to get out these discs. So sometimes the disc looks like the front cover, sometimes it's a little bit different. And then just a little instruction of the game and some reasons to join PS Plus. So let me know down below if you've played Gravity Rush on the PS4. And number 1 is Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Edition, coming in at a whopping 290 Australian dollars, 196 US dollars, and 153 Great British pounds. But I'm gonna disqualify it as a special edition, because if I had special editions in, that would take up all of my top 10. So it's a special number 1 that's not quite a number 1. And I'm going to show you all the things that I got with the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Edition. And then I do have a number 1 yet to come. So you did get this cool steelbook version of the game. Now, regular base Fallout 4 goes for next to no money, $5. I think the price has gone up with the Fallout TV show. So here's my Fallout disc. I mean, that looks the same as the regular copy. I'll go through my receipt in a moment. You do get lots of cool things here in the Pip-Boy edition. So you get a Vault Survival Guide, you get the Season Pass, which did come later. That was coming out. That was quite expensive. I think it was $60 or $70 Australian, the the season pass for Fallout 4. You get this massive poster, which is pretty awesome. It's actually really big. It's hard to show you the entire poster, but that's pretty cool in there as well. And this was not cheap. This Pip-Boy edition sold out within a day. So you've got a life-size Pip-Boy, which is coming in just a moment. So I was all in for the Vault Dwellers orientation pack. That was $128 as well. I'll show you some things I got in the orientation pack, which was a hoodie and a lunchbox and some other cool things as well. But I'm trying to find my main receipt. Here it is. Without chopping my name off, I believe here it is. It's $140 Pip-Boy edition, but I'd also paid $50 for the pre-order as well, so $189 plus $128 for the pre-order. So I definitely went all in on Fallout. I've got this really cool lunchbox. I'm actually storing a couple of things in there. That's pretty wicked. There's this like really cool hoodie with 111 on the back for Vault 111. Now sadly for this hoodie it's only a large, and I am quite a large man, so it doesn't quite fit me, but cool to have. In the orientation kit you got the backpack as well, Vault 111. I've used this backpack for a little while. There is Mr. Bobblehead, which you do collect these throughout the games. That's pretty cool. A Nuka-Cola shot glass as well, so let's get this open. There you go, Nuka-Cola. Cheers. You also get a Nuka-Cola shot glass as well. Now let's get out of here. Let's open it up and have a look. Cheers. Right, Sturgis. Fire it up. And here is what it was all about, the Pip-Boy itself. This box is absolutely huge. Now these sold out in just one day, so still quite collectible today. You get your absolute own version of a Pip-Boy. Now I used to have an iPhone 6 which you could slot in and it would work beautifully, so really you get in here, it's just a big phone case, but you get a stand to put your Pip-Boy on. Try and show you inside. It's really just a nice foam container in a wicked case. And you can place it on the stand if you want to have it out and set it up like this, which is pretty funky, or you can show you some of the features. Now what's pretty cool is it actually does still work and it still lights up after all this time, like some of these work as well. You can turn stuff, but what was really cool, if you did wear this during the game, and this latch is pretty big, and you can, there's a little wrist strap in there, I'm not going to put that on properly, but you can attach it to your wrist, and you could have it synced up to the game. Now I haven't tightened the wrist straps, so it's a little bit loose, but you could have it on in the game, and you could be playing the game and administer stim packs to yourself and have the Pip-Boy menu open at all times. So it actually made the game a little bit harder because enemies would be firing at you and you'd be like, stim pack, you'd be looking at this screen and you'd be getting attacked on the main screen. But a really cool piece of a really cool accessory that you can have alongside Fallout 4. So I don't know how many of these they actually made, but they did sell out very, very quickly, and they are very collectible still to this day online. And my number one most valuable PlayStation 4 game, coming in at number one, is the Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, Endless Night Collection. Now, this game is valued at $115 Australian, $78 US, and 60 British pounds. When I was having a little research in the US, this game looks like it is a lot cheaper. So if you do want this and you're in America, pick it up or import yours from America. But in Australia, this Australian version is still quite pricey. Now, this game was very expensive upon release. 169 Australian dollars I parted with for this game, but you do get this cool art book, and you do get Persona 4 Dancing All Night as a downloadable game as well. So you do get these two. You get your DLC, which is your Endless Night collection. So you get the Persona 4 Dancing All Night digital download and a couple of add-ons as well. Hey, Akechi. Oh, that's really just nothing. That's just on its own. This is my receipt. As you can see, I'm not kidding. It was $169. Very expensive indeed. Let's check out the art book. So this is the coolest thing from the game. Actually, let's check out the discs. You get the two discs kind of stacked on top of each other. So there's the Persona 5 disc and the Persona 3 disc there. Now, they did sell these games separately, but they were $100 each at release, and they did discount eventually, but you could buy them. But you didn't get Persona 4 as well with it. So there's a Persona 3 protagonist. I'll just move that out of the way. So if you played Persona 3, the Reload has just come out. I played it the year before Reload came out, so I was a little bit annoyed. So I don't really want to play through it again, as I put over 60 hours into the game as Yukari and Junpei. Where's Ken? Akihiko, Mitsuri, Ken, Fuka. Get Elizabeth, prominent in a lot of the Persona games. And then the Persona 5 art book there. I believe, is the Persona 5 protagonist Ren? It might be Ren. Morgana, they have canon names as well. Morgana got a bit of a mixed response. Ryuji, and a lot of people's favorites, or An, as they pronounce it, Yusuke, Makoto. I absolutely love Persona 5 as well, one of my absolute favorite games. Futaba, Haru, Caroline and Justine. Just trying to give you a good shot here of the art book. And credits. So, that is the end of the video as well. Let's check out the back of the Persona All Night collection. Dance the night away. Test your rhythm gameplay skills with the ultimate Persona dancing bundle, including 3 games, Persona 3, 5, and 4, in weird order. Incredible soundtrack, customized rhythm gameplay, social and dual audio voiceovers. So that is the end of the video of my top 10 most valuable PS4 games. If you have a valuable PS4 game, pop it in the comments below. If you haven't liked the video, do so now. And if you subscribe, you are absolutely awesome. Heaps to check out on the channel as well. Now, this is going to become a series of most valuable, least valuable, and unique top 10 games in my collection. So stay tuned, and until next time, see you later.